Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is about my budget DIY delamination fix on the back of my RV that took me from this to this, using two-sided tape and pop rivets. Not only will I give you the exact two-sided tape and the exact pop rivets that I used, but I'm also going to share with you one step that was like the secret sauce for this whole process. Delamination occurs when the thin Filon exterior material loses its adhesion to the wall material, which is typically a thin Luan plywood. The sidewalls on my RV are an Asdel composite wall material, but the back wall is Luan plywood. Most delamination is due to water damage, but the crazy thing is that I didn't have delamination until I found some water damage and repaired it. A little over a year ago, I peeled the Filon back from the side and the bottom and replaced some water damaged wood. Re-glued it with some glue that I paid like $150 a quart for. But the glue didn't hold. Now when the sun sets on this back wall, I get this awful looking ripple and it just looks horrible. So I did this to hide the delamination and help my feelings. I bought two 4x8 sheets of the 025 aluminum black diamond plate. 025 is about the same thickness as a credit card. They sent it to me rolled up in a cardboard box, and I purchased it online from a company called Cuts Metal. The diamond plate has a protective plastic layer that you remove after installation. Once we had 3 pieces cut to 19.5 inches, we shifted our focus to the back wall of the camper, preparing it to apply the panels. The worst part of the entire process was removing the roof sealant, the wall sealant, and the butyl rubber, and cleaning up all the trim for reinstallation. Once the back wall was clean and ready, we measured and drilled the panels for the marker lights and tail lights using a step bit. We just used a simple Sharpie marker to mark the curve of the roof and cut it to length. To ensure the area where the panels were to be installed was clean and free of grease, oils, or wax, we wiped it down with denatured alcohol. Then we marked out the panel and the back wall everywhere the 2-inch wide two-sided tape would be installed. The reason I did this is to ensure I could apply the tape primer in the correct areas to get the best adhesion possible. The primer that I am using is 3M Primer 94. Let me be clear, once this primer is applied and let dry for 5 minutes, when you apply the two-sided tape to that area, you will not remove it without a significant amount of work. The two-sided tape that I used is 3M VHB tape. It stands for Very High Bond. When used in combination with the Primer 94, the performance is very impressive. The two-sided VHB tape can be cut with a pair of scissors or a razor knife. Once the tape has been applied to the surface, we used a roller and applied firm pressure to ensure it was laid flat and stuck to the surface as well as it could be. Everywhere the Filon had separated or delaminated from the Luan, we drilled and installed pop rivets. The pop rivets I used were blind pop rivets made for soft materials. The reason I chose the pop rivets made for soft materials is because they spread out in 3 places behind the Luan. I felt like standard pop rivets could potentially work themselves loose from the Luan. It was now time to install the first panel. This went way smoother than I anticipated. We primed the areas on the panel that we had previously marked out. Once the primer was dry, we placed the panel in the correct location, and we simply began to peel the protective layer from the two-sided tape, sticking the panel to the tape, working our way from the top to the bottom. We used a vinyl flooring roller to apply pressure to the panel and the VHB tape. Once it had been rolled, we removed the protective film from the panel to reveal the glossy black diamond plate finish. We repeated the process for the other 2 pieces, then reinstalled the roof and corner trim using new butyl tape. I used a non-insert flat trim with butyl tape underneath it as well to cover the raw edges of the diamond plate aluminum panels. We then rewired and reinstalled the tail lights and marker lights. All of the trim was sealed with black RV ProFlex sealant and the roof section with Dicor lap sealant.